The city of Joburg is now moving ahead with its plans to move people from Rabie Ridge in Midrand to other areas to try and start what's been called a de-densification process. This will see people in crowded, informal settlements be moved to other areas to allow for more social distancing. Well, the member of the Mayoral Committee for Housing in the city of Joburg, Mlungisi Mabaso, joins us. Now, Councillor, good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time today. How's this actually going to work?
Thank you very much for having me in the show and greetings to the viewers. Well, what we did yesterday with the executive mayor together with the housing development agency, the agency that we have employed as the city of Johannesburg, to assist us in dealing with the issue of trying to decongest our highly dense populated areas in the city of Johannesburg. We have yesterday handed over the site that is in Rabie Ridge to contractors that have been appointed by HDA to commence with the construction of temporary relocation units those areas. And there are informal settlements that have been identified in 3 wards in that region, which is Ward 110, Ward 80, and Ward 79. Those wards are in Rabie Ridge and Greater Ivory Park. So what we are going to do then, we gave them a period of 3 months to complete the construction of those temporary relocation units, so that we move in speed in allocating our people there and try to decongest those informal settlements that are highly congested in those areas, so that our people can adhere to social distancing as the regulation by the Department of Health.
What are these units? I mean, are they just different shacks, but in this case built by someone for the council?
Can you repeat that? I missed that.
What are these units that you are building? Are they just shacks that are now being built by government rather than by people themselves?
No, they are not shacks. They are very decent structures because what we have done before we started with the appointment of the contractor, we firstly, councillors were off-site. We visited various areas in the city of Johannesburg, but we started in Pretoria, in Mamelodi, where we were going around checking the decent structures that we can use as a de-densification. It's not as the same as the one that were handed out by the minister in plot 323. These ones are very different, and they are also beautiful. They are very decent, and they are in a condition, a very much better condition. And we hope that our people, they are going to love them, because our councillors have already seen those structures. We took them to those oversights, and they were able to choose the best structures that could be possibly used for this program in their various communities.
I would imagine if they're better than shacks, and from what you say they absolutely must be, and you call them a temporary unit, I would think, considering the shortage of housing in South Africa, in Johannesburg in particular, people are probably going to live in them for as long as they can. People will live in them for 20 years if they can, because they'll be better than the shack.
They are far better than the shacks. But what we have also decided to do, because these are temporal structures, it's only in Lufering where we have used brick and mortar material to build for temporary relocation. But in other areas, we are using these temporal structures. So we are trying to move in speed in developing the areas where we are going to also move these people after we've put in these temporary structures. Like in Zanzibar, we went to hand over the site to contractors as well. But what we are going to do there, we said immediately after we've allocated them, because we are responding to a pandemic here, but immediately after that, we are going to install services in that site, and then we are going to provide people with title deeds, so that at least they can continue to build for themselves if they've got an opportunity and if they've got financial muscle to do that. But in other areas like Diepsloot, what we have done, because there is a big site that is owned by province there, and province earmarked that site for development. So we've engaged with the province to partner with them to assist them in installing services there, so that they start with the actual development, so that all those people that will be allocated to temporal structures can be moved to those permanent structures once we have completed with the actual development of that a particular area. But also in Rabie Ridge as well, because there's a huge site as well that is privately owned. And there was a plan by the city previously to expropriate that land for development of a greater Ivory Park. So there were issues that we had encountered before as the city of Johannesburg, but we had engaged with HDA as well, and we are engaging with the owners of that particular land so that they give us access to start with the development of that area, because as part of addressing the issues in the greater Ivory Park, that land could be the solution. And as part of addressing the issue of people that we are going to put in these temporary structures that we are going to build there in Ivory Park, and that land is a solution to that as well. So we are not just putting people in these temporary structures and leave them there. We actually do have a plan in place so that when the time goes on, we actually commence with the actual development of permanent structures so that our people do not stay in these temporary structures permanent, but the temporary structure must remain temporal. And then when we have completed with the actual development, we move our people to permanent structures. So that is the plan that we have as the city of Johannesburg, and it's a plan that we have already started its process so that at least after a certain period of time, we have finalized everything and we allocate our people into permanent structures.